Question is this: what is the mindset of a Christian? The mindset of a Christian is, if I perform this task, then there is a birth. Okay, like it is when you have a physical birth. So you would be understanding. Most people, when they think of getting saved, they associate it more with the time than the experience of it. Right, so they don't understand the dynamics of what happened. Okay, so they can tell you when they got saved, and they can tell you what time of day it was and who all was in the room, because that's in the physical. But they can't tell you in the metaphysical what happened, because they don't understand what they are as an idol. They're a physical or a spiritual being. Okay, so a spirit works with what's law. Okay, and with law you get substance and evidence. Okay, because that's what a court case takes to make a case. Okay, and if you can understand this, Jesus is the one who paid the price, and we know that all court cases come up to being you either pay the price to get out of the fines, to have to get out of the circumstance, or you have to pay, in time. Isn't that true? Okay, so substance and evidence is what we're working with, and that is the definition of faith. Substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Okay, so the spiritual birth is a thing that happened and you did not see it happen. Did you? You didn't. I mean, like, I didn't see anything come out of a womb. I didn't see anything come, in consummation. I didn't see anything happen that way, so it had to be a different experience. Are we still on?
You're good.
No. And so what you're going to have there is you're going to have some people being misinterpreted on that item because they hadn't had a full, lengthy conversation about what's going to happen. So here they go. They go to church, and that's a physical thing. But then they leave church from under what they suspect to be how do you grow, and they won't go home and read the Bible on their own. Do you see what I mean? Like, even if they go home and read the Bible, they're just going to read it for topical application. They're not going to look how it is in association with the law that works from within. Okay? So you're going to get people that are frustrated and confused. Okay? And you have a person up front, like now they're going to trust a preacher instead of trusting their own ability to grow. So what you have to do to be able to grow spiritually is you have to set yourself a goal way out here. Okay? And then you have to try and stretch yourself to become the character that it takes to get your goal. That is what God's looking for you to try and become this spiritual idol. He wants you to set a goal that's way out here where you can't hardly even see how to get there, and then He's going to show you how to get there. You're going to have to trust Him in faith. It's like saying, I'm about to go to Russia on a boat. And I'm going to set all the coordinates on the boat, and I'm going to put plenty of food on the boat, and I'm going to put plenty of water on the boat, and I'm going to hire enough people to make a crew, and we're going to try and make this journey. Or people don't make a plan. So your life's like that. It's like you're trying to get to the end of your life, but you didn't come up with the plan. So you're headed towards where? You're headed amiss. You see what I mean? Like it's still going to take the journey. It's going to still take its journey. It's still going to launch out into the deep, and you're going to try and have life, but you didn't make any plan about it, so you may end up in Czechoslovakia. Or you may end up in Africa. You're just going whichever way the wind's tossing the boat. Do you see what I mean? So without this plan in front of you, it's like putting in a corn crop. Like if you ain't got some tree down there to look at, and you're gonna plow, and you're gonna try and make a straight road. Probably not. If you didn't put a marker down there to say, okay, I'm going to head toward my goal, then how are you going to plow straight? That'd be the same thing as the scripture that says, he that putteth forth his hand to the plow and looking back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven. Because heaven comes with order. And so first you have to set in the order. You see what I mean? Like, that's the idea, is that Christ put his face toward Calvary. Okay? So people are going to be amiss for what is the mindset of a Christian, right? Because they don't have it explained to them in this dynamic. They don't understand that it's going to take goal setting, preparation, design. Mm-hmm. So you make choices every day, whether you like it or not. It's whether or not you designed it to be what it's supposed to be that's going to make it the difference. That's going to be what's the calculated or miscalculated factor. And God wants to have order come to your life. Like he wants to serve you food. But if you don't put in the order for the food, it's like going to a restaurant and just sitting there hungry, being, well, if they would just come ask me, or just bring me food. They're not just going to bring you food. You got to put in the order for what you want to get it to come out of the kitchen. You see what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? Bring you the whole menu till you like it? No. And God's not going to do that either. He's only going to give you what you put in the preparation and focus on to have. He's not. It's just not going to come the other way. So here people go to church, and they sit there. And they wait for the preacher to deliver them everything on the menu. When they should go there looking for what they want. Like I'm trying to hit my goal. What can God show me with what's coming out of that guy's mouth to get me what I want? Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's called awareness. Like you're sitting there waiting to become aware of what it is God's trying to show you, and with acknowledgement to show you. You're not going to have any kind of acknowledgement at all if you just come there and sit and look at everybody else. And you're not focusing on anything. You're not going to grow an inch because you didn't set a goal that needs to have growth in between there to make it happen. And life will send you issues to trying to get you to get this idea. Like right now, you're going through a trial. Okay? Isn't it called a trial? I mean, like we're working with law. Okay? And that's what you're on trial, right? So what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and get through this episode. Okay? This issue. Okay? So you're sending yourself these issues. It comes from dis-ease. Okay, so the dis-ease is what's brought you the issue to have to go through so you can trust God. Now, on the other side of this, when you beat this thing, okay, because in your mind you've already beat it. Okay? So once you've beat this, then you'll have the performance model to do it never again. You see what I mean? So you're going to operate from a place of accomplishment instead of a place of disorganization. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're going to give yourself some order. You're going to put in the order for a good life. So well-being, wholeness, joyfulness, peacefulness, all that's what you're going to set the order for if you do this mission, what it is. You got to set yourself up a goal so you focus and all this other stuff stays away from you. And through acknowledgement is how you're going to find the ability to have this peacefulness and this joyfulness and all this stuff that repels all these other things that become disease. And you're going to take nothing less than your goal. You're going to head towards your goal until you get there. And once you get there, you will look back and see a trail of places where all along the way you've acknowledged God and you became full at these places. Like filling up your gas tank along the way going to California. Do you see what I mean? Like you set a course for what it is you want. And by acknowledgement, you're going to fill up your tank the whole along the way. Like say if you want to have joy along the way, you'll do things that are joy. You'll produce it. Like you'll say to yourself, it would make me so happy and so joyful if I could just help somebody. And then God would give you the acknowledgement for your efforts in that. Like you'd see them accomplish something, say he makes it to whatever the next grade is. What grade you be in? 7th grade? Okay, so you're going to make it to the 8th grade. Right, you see that? And then Dad's going to say, good job, son. Appreciate you doing that. And you did a good job. And through acknowledgement of that, he's going to get this joy. He's going to get this peace. You're going to give it to him. praise God, like your performance model. You see what I mean? That's gratification. Okay, that'll make him feel great. Huh? So that's gratification. That's how you get it. Right? So, and how do you get peace? Is that you do the same thing. You go and play in the woods and have a good time and be at peace and turn the whole thing off. So you become peaceful. And you say, God's so brilliant. Look how he makes those trees. Look how he makes that sunset. And you be grateful for those things. And you become this. See what I mean? Like, so you're the production model. He wants to live through you and acknowledge what he's already performed. He's the pro. So his performances are like when people looked at the bird and they thought, wow, I'd love to fly like that bird. And then, you know what? Now we got airplanes. Do you see what I mean? So through acknowledging what he's already done in form and bringing it into this reality that we can enjoy, that became a place of this, they become on the mission. That out there, that's the airplane. And along the way, they said to themselves, I ain't going to have it no other way. And so since they did, that's when God pulled it into them for to be acknowledged. Okay? They said, well, if we do this and we'll make a paper airplane first. I bet you they could make paper airplanes before they could make flying airplanes. You want to bet? Mm-hmm. So they used the dynamics off of the paper airplane, or they watched a leaf go to the ground. And they said, So if it's shaped a certain way, like they got a certain, like the little maple tree makes a little thing looks like a helicopter propeller, and it'll do a thing going down to the ground, and another leaf does this. The pine needle don't fall far from the tree. That's why you get a pine thicket. It's called thicket. That's the way it is. Anyway, so all those things are in dynamics so that we will understand that we need to take one form to the next level. Like the motor in your car. But we still call that horsepower. Horse used to pull a buggy. Buggy used to have 4 wheels. The car still has 4 wheels, and because that's about balance. Anything that works with law works with balance. Okay, so all the dynamics are there, then we're going to still keep using it. I mean, like the car's got 4 tires, and it used to be a buggy, but the horse always had 4 feet. Okay, so I mean, that's a performance model. God fixed it perfect. All these things that we're to use to get to the next level. Now, how about that? So what's the chances that God used your body as all these great examples for how to do things like build a computer or build a house or to build a boat? He would call it fellowship. And that's your body. It's a production model. Like you're the house of God. You're the church. Okay, so like he's building this thing called the church all through the Bible. And what is he doing? He's using you as the example of it. So it'd be easy to get off track because you see what I'm saying? Like there's a type of something going on there. And you'd say, well, this is the church age, or this is the church time, or a certain period of the Laodicea and yada yada, right? And you're just off track by just a little bit. And that's all it takes to get like from going from Russia to Australia is to be off that much. You can start off just this much out of whack over here, and by the time you get to where you're going, you're so far out of whack it ain't even funny. Do you see what I mean? Or like you ever done this? You ever been in a room full of people and you whisper a story in someone's ear on this side of the room, and then this guy tells this guy, and this guy tells that guy, and this guy tells another guy, and all the way down the line till it gets to the last person, and it's a completely different story than when it starts out on one side of the room. And why? It's because everybody puts their own little perceptive idea on what it is about the story. So, on all that, the mindset of a Christian has probably not even been thought of for most who are saved. Okay? It's probably just been told to them how this is supposed to be, and then when they can't perform to the idea of what everybody else's concept is of it, then they feel frustration, is my point. What's your concurrence on that? What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my dissatisfaction about, not that I don't think church is a good item. I think it's a collective mind But I don't think everybody's bringing the right kind of frame to come there. I just don't. I think they're coming there for dressing up and for feeling like that building's fixing them.
It's a unity, and it's supposed to be at a hospital, but there's not a lot of people's been inoculated against all the other diseases that are being brought in, and it's affecting
That's what I'm telling you.
Everybody else.
Yeah, they're not going into the mentality when they come there. They're bringing the physicality. And they're expecting the physicality to change the physicality, and that's not what we are. We're a thing that's a spiritual being, and that's where all change comes from within. See, people were making topical blood sacrifices of animals, and Jesus come to say, no. I want you to sacrifice. Watch me. Watch what I do. I'm going to hang on this tree. I'm going to die for you. And so that's what he wants us to do. You see what I mean? He wants us to perform this sacrificial thing on the inside. Not some topical outside. He performed the blood part. Because in his purity, he could do that part. But we're to trust in that to sacrifice of the body. But where he wants you to sacrifice is in the mentality. Yeah. So see, there's what people ain't getting. They're not coming to church thinking what is Christian mindset. You see? So they don't come there prepared. They come there in a mental atmosphere that's very much willing and able to try and get people the message that they do. But they don't come looking for how do I channel this energy that's about what I'm in the essence of. And every once in a while at church, you have the crowd will start to be that performance model, and we call it revival. Do you see what I mean? They all then bring the same mindset, and they're all burdened and they're all concerned about one main focus, and then all of a sudden revival will break out. Well, you should have that every Sunday. If you're coming there thinking, what is the Christian mindset? You shouldn't have to come there and try and produce it by working something up in songs or whatever. That should come with the package when you walk in the door. You see what I mean? Like you should be waiting in acknowledgement for change to happen. You should say, this sermon's going to change me, and I'm hanging on every word that he's got to say because he's supposed to be plugged into. And forget about the building. You can do it outside. The preacher knows that. He's trying to build a thing right now. He said that the other day. He said, I want to build a palladium type thing with roll-up doors where we can all be outside underneath of an open air, like a arbor, to be able to have church outside. I'm all for it. Because it ain't got nothing to do with what's inside the building. You're the building. You're the house of God. If I understood right, when I got saved, I invited Jesus Christ to live inside of me. I didn't, they got to be coming from someplace in a foreign galaxy waiting to come here. It's already here. It's waiting for me to allow it out. I mean, if we had a birth, where did that happen at? That happened on the inside. The very minute that you acknowledge that Jesus Christ paid the price for you on the cross, and that's what it took, that moment is when you became aware of it. So then he could become expressive through you and start functioning through your body to go to the altar and say, I'm getting saved. Or I want to perform the next thing. What is it? Like show me something. You see what I'm saying? Then your ears can hear. Then your eyes can be opened because first you open the one on the inside. That is when people get saved. Like it ain't got nothing to do with a certain prayer you prayed or the time of day it was or which building you was in or who's with you. None of that. It was the fact you entered into the mind of God and you asked for the answer to the question, what must I do to be saved? And there's a 20-minute excerpt on one question.